In light of recent controversy, we are unable to consider your application at this time.
This is so not fair. This is so not fair. I didn't do anything wrong. You guys definitely didn't do anything wrong.
Expect disappointment and you will never get disappointed.
What's up everyone? In today's video, I'm going to explore the quote, "Expect disappointment and you'll never get disappointed" by the character Michelle Jones Watson, MJ for now on, in the 2021 MCU movie Spider-Man No Way Home. At first instance, this quote might seem very depressing in nature, but I'll try my best to explain and explore it in a way which will be enlightening to all of us, as well as how best it can be applied in our own lives in a positive way. These are the first few videos of a new channel that I'm trying to get off the ground. If you love inspirational, motivational and meaningful quotes as much as I do, consider subscribing to my channel and we'll explore old and new movie quotes together in a more meaningful way. As the third MCU Spider-Man film, No Way Home is the first in the cinematic history of the Spider-Man franchise to have the friendly neighborhood hero's identity revealed to the world. Riding along that initial plot, the studios have also finally decided to catch up with the concept of the multiverse for the first time in its cinematic history. I say catch up because the concept of the multiverse, or better yet, the Infinite Verse, was already recently popularized by the Rick and Morty series in mainstream entertainment media.
Hey, what do you know? It's a cowboy version of me!
Jeez, you're easy to impress. Yeah, most timelines have a Rick and most Ricks have a Morty.
But I digress. Getting back to the background of the movie in relation to the quote, it was first uttered by MJ in the beginning of the film, where the gang was disappointed by the fact that they were not accepted into MIT due to Peter's recent actions. The quote might not seem significant at that moment, but I believe that it can tie in to what happens next, as well as the consequences which leads to the end of the film. And this is the point of the quote for which I will be exploring. As mentioned earlier, the quote might seem very depressing in nature since on the face of it, it contains two words with negative connotations, i.e. disappointment and disappointed. However, don't be disappointed though. This quote isn't really about disappointments but about accepting something disappointing and then moving on from there. When the quote was first uttered by MJ, there was definitely disappointment in her face, but what comes next just shows how strong she was in accepting a disappointing turn in her life and then moving on from there.
You know what? I wouldn't change a thing I did.
Truly, not all of us have the same strength to move on that quickly. But then, perhaps it should be noted that when she said that she wouldn't change a thing she did as she was tearing the letter, she understood that the effort put or the journey taken to get into MIT is much more important than the result itself. Moving on with our lives despite whatever disappointments we face is very much a part of life itself, because in life we gain some and we lose some. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we should allow disappointments to hold us back from what we can potentially achieve with another opportunity or another chance in something much greater than what we envision for ourselves. Apart from the concept of moving on, the quote also acts as a state of mind that we should have with regards to whatever it is that we may face. This is to say that we should always be prepared for and expect disappointments, so that at the end of that disappointing events in our lives, it is perhaps easier for us to move on. This is probably why MJ is able to come up with that quote or principle to live by in the first place, that perhaps she has experienced enough disappointments in her life to know that it is only a stepping stone for other opportunities. Now, referring back to what I said earlier about how the quote can tie in to Peter's subsequent actions as well as the consequences which leads to the end of the film. If Peter were to understand and appreciate what MJ said in the beginning itself, he would have just accepted things as it is, no matter how disappointing it might be. Not just for himself, but also for his friends whom he feels sorry for. If he did consult his friends, especially MJ, who seems to be the more matured and wiser one, he wouldn't have asked Doctor Strange to do what he did, which then caused not just Peter bigger problems, but an even bigger problem in the Multiverse of Madness film.
Things just got out of hand.
However, what I can gather from Peter's state of mind at the end of the film is that he finally understands and accepts what MJ said earlier, as the quote was also somewhat uttered again before the film ends. And at that point, it would seem that he has finally embraced the much more disappointing state that he is in and decided to make the best of it while still Spider-Manning. Therefore, in applying the quote in our lives, we should first always have the heart and strength to prepare ourselves for whatever it is that we might face, especially a perceived disappointing event that might come our way. And should we feel disappointed by something in any way, we should try our very best to embrace it as it is and move on from there by learning from what we have done, which resulted in that disappointing state, and then correcting ourselves for the better instead of looking for ways around it which might cause bigger problems for ourselves. That's all for today. Do share your thoughts about the quote itself or what I have shared about it. Did I miss anything? Is there any other movie quotes you'd like me to explore? Do let me know in the comment section below. And if you like what I have done in this video, do consider liking and subscribing to my channel for more movie quotes explored, as I will be publishing more videos in the near future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.